Hello everybody, welcome to the session of Sonar Cube. As you are seeing the screen, introduction to code quality. So you are wondering, the session is for Sonar Cube, but the slides will be covering for the code quality. So the reason to cover the code quality first before the Sonar Cube is code quality is the basic part and must part to be understood before the Sonar Cube. So we will be covering these 3 points in the PPT or in this session. So first of all, what is the code quality? So in which we will be covering how to measure the code quality, what is the code quality, and why we required code quality in our project. After that, the 7 axes of code quality, we will see what are the 7 axes or what are the 7 points or key points of code quality. And third one is what is technical depth. First, code quality. So as we all know, code is the heart of our project. Project is nothing but a coding. So we code for the features as per the requirement. So that must be with some quality. And how to measure that quality? So in nutshell, we can say that uh, quality code is something like the developer do to add on something to the business value or the software. And as I said that quality code quality is a heart of project, so it must be up to the mark. So we should always measure the code quality of project. We will cover why to measure the code quality, when to measure, and what to measure in code quality. Why to measure the code quality? So, as you can see, source code is heart of project. As I earlier said, code is always new to understand. What does this means? Like, suppose we will consider one scenario, like developer one uh, done 2 to 3 features. Suppose 3 feature for some project, and after that he transferred or moved to another project or he left the organization. So another guy joined. We will call him or her as developer two. So after 3 features, the developer two will be continuing the another features or the project. So here it means code is always new to understand. So if developer one does not commented out the code or does not follow any coding standard, and it is having a very complex coding structure, so it will be difficult to understand for the developer too. Otherwise it is very easy to understand the code whatever developer one have done with the comments or documentation. Okay, so code is always new to understand, because anyone, my coding standard or my coding style is different than yours, because you will follow some other rules, you will follow some other standards or some other practice, and I will follow some other practice. So the different our both coding standard or code is different. So it is but obviously hard to understand or new to understand. So after that is you can't improve if you don't measure. So suppose I have a login page code which is coded in suppose JSON and JavaScript and HTML. So uh, that I have implemented or I have written it in my way, and you are implementing another logout page, so you will implement it in your way. So what developer, suppose developer one have created login page, coded login page, and developer two coded logout page. So the both developers move to another project and developer 3 joined. So with these two different um, code pages, third guy is not able to understand what the coding standard is followed, or what practice they followed during the coding. So if the both developers have not followed any coding standard, and have not measured the code quality, so it will be difficult for developer 3 to understand both pages and develop another coding pages with the requirements. So if we have not measured our code quality, so it is not easy for the others to develop another features with the same code. So I think we all know the broken window theory. It is like, we are living in a house, and it is having windows with the glass windows. So if that glasses of windows are broken, so anyone can enter, or uh, anyone can, we can say, grab the things from the home, or stole the things from the home, and anyone can do anything. So it is better to create the glasses, or recover those broken glasses in less time. This is the same applies to the code. If your code is not good, if your code is not having any quality, so the anyone, or any hacker can hack your code, go to your securities and hack your securities, or otherwise another developers can't read or can't understand your code. So these are some points. So for that reason, we must have to measure our code quality. When to measure? So it is a best practice to measure the code quality from project, when projects start, that is from the day one, we can say, or day zero. Day zero is because before before the we implement the code, before that we must identify which practice we have to follow, which measures we have to follow, and uh, standards, or languages are having the standards or practices. So those practices must be followed during our code, so that we have to fix or finalize before the project start. So it is must and should be measured code quality from the project day zero continuously. We have to measure the code quality continuously. We can't do like, if I have measured the code quality on the first day and I have not measured the code quality for 1 month. So what about the 1 month code? It is not having the code quality. Then how you improve your quality after 1 month is completed? So it must be continuously measuring the code quality, must be continuously prioritize. So you must prioritize the pages, or we can say the modules, for the code quality measurement. And you consider the scenarios on basis of you have to measure the code. So it is like prioritize, and according to your priorities you must plan your code quality measurement. What what to measure? So it is just, we can say, not just the abstract numbers. Follow some metrics, follow time duration. What does this mean? Not just abstract number. If you are measuring the quality of code, it must not be in some numbers like, my login page is 70%, having 70% with the code quality. What does this 70% include? You must fix that parameters before measuring before measuring your code quality. Follow some metrics. This is the same, like you must have the metrics or some points on basis of that you should measure the code quality. Follow time duration, as the previous slide was talking about continuously. Measure your code quality continuously. Follow the time duration. If you have fixed that you want to measure code quality um, bi-weekly or alternate day. So you must follow that time duration. I have measured today, so I will measure on the alternate day. So it is must and important to follow the time duration. Otherwise, you will not be able to measure the code quality if you are having a much gap in your code quality measure. So this is time to welcome the seven axes of our code quality. So what are those? This is a diagram for the seven axes of code quality. First is architecture and design. Second, code duplication. Third, unit test. Four, complexity. Five, potential bug. Six, coding rules. Seven, commits. So we will look into each in brief in next slide. So these are the uh, key points on the basis of we measure our code quality. First one is architecture and design. So, while we decide the architecture, it is the basic task and first task before we start the project, how our project is, and how we follow or how we implement the architecture, and how we have designed the architecture, from where we are picking up our code, how developers will push and commit the code to the repository, how we build that. After that, how will we going to deploy that, what tools we are using, what OS we will be using, what language our project is having, and coding standards also. So all these must be defined before we start the project or before we start the coding. So this is, but obviously minimize the dependencies. Like this is for like I have a tool which is depend on multiple tools. Like we can say, for example, uh, I think you must all have heard about the CI server, that is Jenkins. So for the Jenkins installation, it is mandatory to have Java installed on our system. So it is a dependency. Like if I want to use Jenkins in my project, so it is dependent on Java. So my system must have the Java installed before the Jenkins installed. This is a level one dependency. It is okay because some tools are dependent on some tool or some tools are dependent on some softwares. So that is okay, but minimize the dependency level. If my tool is dependent on various 7 to 8 softwares or 7 to 8 tools, for the installation also, and for the we can say for the processing also. So it is not good practice that one tool is dependent on the multiple tools. So must minimize your dependencies. Design should not be complex. Same way, if our dependencies are not much, so design is but obviously not complex. So it is the architecture design must be easy to scale, because you don't know when you need another tool and that needs to integrate with another tool. So it must be, your architecture must be scalable, so you can add tools and integrate them with your existing tools. So when you fix your architecture for the project, you must study about all the points, that is dependency, complexity, and scalability. And after that, you fix your architecture and implement that in your project. Second one is code duplication. So it is the very important axis of code quality. Your code must not be duplicated. Don't repeat your code in the files, in various files, or same code in your one file also. Suppose I have a if loop that is calculating, suppose addition of selected numbers. So I have a one page with the same if loop duplicated 5 times. So it is not required to duplicate the code, because it will hamper your code quality measure. It will calculate in the code quality. So use, like we all know that, use the functions to repeat the code. If you need that if loop, put that if loop in your function and use that function or call that function wherever you require. Yes, so we all know that we will create, or we used to create a handler function or a helper class, which will include all these methods we required frequently in our project. So we call that helper class with the particular method. So this is the one way to avoid the code duplication. So code duplication is isolates and refines the duplications, percentage of code that use duplicated, and counts by duplicated line of code blocks and files. So code in code quality, code duplication is count by the percentage of code that is duplicated, and it counts the duplicated lines from your blocks, from your modules, from your files, wherever the code is duplicated in your whole project. This is, we can consider this as an example for our code duplication. As I said, here is given, wait a minute. Okay. Here is given like position: move to the north, move to the south, move to the east, and move to the west. Player is moving to the north, south, east, and west. These are four functions I have duplicated in my one file for the moving of the player, but it is duplicated code, right? Just this move and the direction is different, but overall code is the same. So we can write it in one function and pass that direction in a parameter. Likewise, this is simple. This is simple as just we can say function from the Java language I have taken. You can consider or relate this same with the your skills or your languages you are doing with or project. So this is just a simple example to consider for the code duplication. Then third is unit test. We all know that testing is an important part. So what is the unit test? Unit test. So the screen is having one simple screenshot with the same Java code. With the Java code, this is a function for the concat, and the test is having the covered the unit test cases for this concat. So unit test cases must be included in your project, and this is a developer's task to write the unit test cases for the individual function. Okay, so why unit test cases are important? As we all know that the concat function is suppose we are expecting this concat function will be giving some output, desired output, and we expect some output from this concat function. So to test that our desired output and expected output is same or not, we will write this test case, unit test case, to check that it is giving same or not. So this code will give you a surety of your written code or functionality is working fine. So code quality must calculate your test coverage, like how much percentage of your success and failure of your unit test cases on the basis of your functionality or code, and how much time is required to test the code. After that, the complexity. uh, as I said that complexity is must parameter and important parameter from your code quality. It calculates complexity of code per method, per class, and per file. It is important to eliminate complexity, and as we know that if our code is more complex, then it take execution time more, as our complexity is more, as you can see it uh, in the diagram or snapshot. Like, this is the high complexity and this is the low complexity, because if we consider the circle here is a one if loop. So if that is a one if loop, so how we are traversing from one if loop to another, another, and to the end. So time required is more compared to the less complexity diagram, because it must have to traverse from the edge. If this is possible, then go to here. If not, then go to here, check the if, then traverse to here. If not, then traverse to here, then come to here, and this is the final if loop. And here it is straightforward. Came from here, the if loop is yes or no. Came to here, directly to here. Here yes or no, came to here, directly to here. So this definitely saves the time. So if your complexity is less, then it but obviously saves your time of the execution, and this is the very important parameter of the code quality measurement. Potential bug. So what is the potential bug? So we can say that there are some in every language there are some bugs that are defined by the creator of that language. So eliminate code violation to prevent the vulnerabilities. So those are defined, right? Those bugs are defined in the documentation of that language, that you don't need to use that some part of code, but you are using that in your project, so it is a bug, right? So don't use such bug while the coding. If, for example, for the understanding purpose, we will take one example here from the Java language. So in the Java language, we generally use equal sign instead of the dot equals function. It is defined, dot equals function is to compare two objects, or we can say the two entities. A comparison, dot equals is defined or built-in function provided by Java, but some developers are tend to use or tend to write equal to instead of dot equals function. So it is, as it is written here, this if whatever it is written here, if x equal to y, then this if is not get compiled, because it is not a best practice, or it is not defined in the Java practices or Java developers. So must use dot equals function when you want to compare two entities, then this will get compiled. This is simple, right? Whatever defined from your language, use that only, because if you use your Java, if you use your languages as per your need, then it will definitely give you a bug, and that is the potential bug, and it will cause your code quality to the down. After that, coding rules. Um, Definitely, there are some standards defined by all programming languages. We will consider here some examples from the Java, as you all of you know that Java is object-oriented language, so there is compulsory or must parameter of classes and methods, but it is best practice to write interfaces in your classes and write the setter and getter functions in your class. It will help you in further programming with the same classes. So these are some standards and the rules defined by some languages. So you must follow those rules and respect the coding standards. So it will definitely take your level of coding standard or coding quality to the high. And the seventh and last axis or parameter of the code quality is comments. Mm, we all know the importance of comments and documentation while we do the coding. As I earlier gave you example, like developer one have done the 3 pages coding or three features coding, and suddenly it got moved. That developer got moved to the another project. So the second developer wants to move with the existing code, and there is no any comment written in the files and in the coding, and no any documentation provided by the coding uh, uh, by that developer. So how the second developer continues or move the project with the existing code, it is definitely hard to understand. And uh, it is definitely hard to understand the code and move the code to the further level. So it is must to have the comments and the documentation of your code along with your coding files. So provide the documentation especially for the public APIs and source code details. But what are the public APIs? The whatever APIs, public APIs we are using in our code, and we have implemented the APIs. How we have implemented, what inputs they required, what purpose of that APIs, that must be documented with your APIs, and each line, each function is must have the comments in line with that code. It is very much important to give a comment and the documentation for the coding. So code quality measurement consider the percentage of commented code, percentage of public API that are not documented, and it counts the lines or the blank lines for the code quality measure. Please don't give unnecessary blank lines in between your code. It will impact on your code quality. So I think you all understood what are the seven axes of code quality. So we will move to the technical depth. What is technical debt? It is related to the code quality axis, like yes, the if debt grow large enough, eventually the company will spend more time on servicing its debt that is invested in increasing the value of other function. So diagram will show you or give you a clear picture of what is the technical debt. So as you can see here is clean code, and this is having this if we consider this growing side as a time duration. So if our code is clean with all the seven axes and with the less technical depth, so it will grow to the up to the mark with the less time. But if our coding is poor and we are having the high technical depth and the code is not having code quality measurement up to the mark, then it is no doubt that code will done in the same time duration as this as this blue part is done, but it will take much time in investing or understanding the complexity of code that will not required here. So this is clear that uh, so it is a simple to understand that if technical depth is less, then you will need less efforts. to scale or to improve your code or to do your code with the code complexity, but it requires the less technical depth, and it is only done or you will achieve less technical depth with only the measurement of code quality. And if your technical depth is large, so it will occur uh, code creation with some time that is unnecessary, and that is a burden to the developers of the making changes or making understand to the other developer. So it is must to follow the code quality 7x's, measure the code quality, so it will give you the less technical depth, and your code will be neat and clean to understand other developers also, and in future to you also. So yes, this will give you the clear picture if your source code uh, this will give you the clear picture if you're not having or not pay the attention to your technical depth. In short, you have not paid the attention to the code quality measurement. So this will be the mess in your project code. So you will not understood what files are where, what code is written in which file, what logic is this for, and what the purpose of the logic you have written after some days, if the developer is same or the different. So please, if you are a developer and you are developing some project, so please measure the code quality with the 7x's we have seen, and minimize your technical depth, which will give you neat and clean project for you also and others also. So I think you all got the clear idea about what is the code quality, how should we measure, and why should we measure, how should we measure the code quality. After that, 7x's of our code quality, that are architecture and design, complexity, coding rules, potential bug, comments. After that, documentation and unit test cases. Okay, and after that, what is the technical depth and how should we minimize that, and what is the use of the minimizing technical depth. So yes, thanks for the attending this session, and please do follow the code quality in your project. Thank you.